Hello, everyone. My name is Paul, and I'm going to be talking about Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is a basically a summary and read through of the book, and I'm going to talk about what happened and what I think might happen, and it's going to be in 100-page chunks. So, in the first book, in Skyward, we had we had this human population that was stuck on this planet. A Krell alien invasion kept trying to destroy this very small group of people trying to just survive on the planet. And Spenza, our main character, is a young woman who ends up becoming a pilot and fights the Krell. So the big thing with Skyward was that we found out that the humans were basically stuck there, and that they were prisoners on this planet, and that Spenza has this ability to hear faster than light communication, and also to travel faster than light. And to some people, that's dangerous because she can be used by the Krell because of that. However, she has a special ship that she found and an AI called MBot that helps her not to be overcome by the Krell taking over her. So basically, we're in book 2 now, Starsight. The battle for Detritus is in space. Spenza is still piloting MBot, and the fight against the superiority in the Krell continues as she leads them a group of planes away. She uses her psionic ability to hear their faster than light communication and is able to react really quick while fighting. She comes up against an actual Krell pilot, though, at the end of the first chapter. Spenza gets in trouble with her shields down, decides to do this really cool maneuver where she goes close to the automated guns that surround the entire planet. And so the Krell and the pilot go down there, and the guns start shooting them. Luckily for her, some of her squad mates also show up and help her. FM and Kimon. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not. I'll just call her Kim. But, the Krell are still holding back, it seems, from sending a large force to kill the humans in the DDF, which is the, military arm that Spenza is a part of. The DDF is actually getting stronger now. They have a lot more experienced fighters. At the end of Chapter 2, these really huge capital ships that basically think they're destroyers arrive near the treatise. And those big ships, they believe, might have the ability to actually bombard the planet. At the start of Chapter 3, we find out that MBot is able to traverse the gun stations, like the automated guns, so that they won't get fired upon. They land on Platform Prime, which is basically the new staging ground in space. They took over some of the platforms, and now they control some of the guns. Spenza has MBot and MBot's abilities on her bracelet now. One of the more important abilities is hologram projections. MBot can make holograms on Spenza herself, change her appearance, and also change the appearance of the ship that he controls and that Spenza flies. So we have some new people on the squad. Sadie is new. There's T-Stall and Catnip, and Jorgen still is the lead person in this group. Jorgen calls out Spenza for not thinking about the team and basically being a bully because of it. Spenza is purposely putting herself in danger to see if she can reactivate her hyper jump abilities. Spenza and Jorgen, they have feelings for each other, but they really haven't acted upon them. But then at the end of the chapter, a recording is found on one of the platform's systems. So Cobb, Spenza's old teacher, is now the leader of the DDF. Raj, Spenza's childhood friend, found a video of the planet's defenses like a long time ago and what happened to the old humans on it. So basically this thing called a Delver appeared, but the defenses were not good enough to destroy the Delver because it was like as large as a huge planet. So this at the end of this chapter, they showed like a darkness in the video, and in that video, Spenza thought she saw herself in that video, which was interesting. Jorgen kind of saw something as well, but not everyone saw something in that darkness, like in that Delver that was in that video. So basically the Delver is the reason why the planet has now become barren with people. They come from the deep darkness, which is basically the same place that Cytonics and Spenza use their hyperspace jumping abilities to go through. And that is why people don't trust Spenza. Her ability could actually call the Delvers back, but the humans need the ability to use hyper jump technology because they believe that the Krell want them dead, and so the only way they're gonna survive is to leave the treatise. So at the beginning of chapter 6, the plan is to use Mbot's hologram technology to make the ship look like a Krell fighter, and then sneak onto their base and steal the hyperdrive jump technology. At the end of that chapter, an alien ship randomly appears. So this alien ship is different than anything they've ever seen before, and it gets shot down by the defensive guns and it starts to crash. But they realize that there's an actual person piloting the ship. So knowing that the ship hyper jumped to where they were, they want to save the ship, so maybe they'll have an actual hyper drive. So Spenza uses her light lance that's on her ship to save the alien ship from crashing, and then she finds a humanoid looking alien in the ship. So the alien is from a backwater planet that is going to join the superiority. So Spenza gets the coordinates to this city from the person that crashed, and that person's name is Alanik. So the plan now is for Spenza to pretend to be Alanik and go to where she is supposed to train to be a part of the superiority, and that place is called Starsight. All right. So Spenza successfully jumps to Starsight. Mbot has disguised the ship to look like a different ship, and has disguised Spenza to look like Alanik. So now, from now on, she's pretending to be Alanik, and this is going to be her first true test as Alanik. Starsight, the actual city, is very large, has millions of people on it, very lush, it's a very beautiful place, and Spenza automatically just doesn't trust it. She finds out that the humans actually tried to conquer the galaxy 3 different times. So this idea that the humans are actually the bad guys is being reinforced. Spenza meets someone called Kuna, and this is the aide that was assigned to Alanik. So Spenza has to decide how to act like Alanik, so she decides not to talk much and be kind of reserved, which is totally the opposite of Spenza's personality. So while she's walking around Starsight, there are Krell everywhere. Like there's merchants, and it's just really scary for Spenza because the Krell have been the enemy for so long now. And Spenza's just having a hard time with that. So the superiority didn't really want Alanik's people into the superiority until now, because they used to fight with the humans, but they were actually kind of slaves to the humans a long time ago. The superiority really dislikes people who use the cytonic powers. And when I say the superiority, I mean the Corral, the people that are keeping Spence's people on that planet. The Delvers, they can see you in this negative realm where you hyperspace through. They can like see you. Kuna is trying to make the superiority sound like they are the good guys, and I'm not sure like if they are or not. They might be the good guys. They might not be the good guys. The Cytonics bring the Delvers, but the superiority doesn't necessarily. Kuna says that the superiority doesn't really want to kill all the Cytonics, but I don't know if I believe them, because the superiority are the only ones with hyperspace drive. So basically, they have this market, and they have really no people against them. Kuna said that no one has ever stolen a hyperspace drive before in the past, so Spence's plan is going to be tough. So superiority believes that the Delvers are going to attack soon. That is why they're trying to recruit more pilots. That is why Alanik, who is now Spenza, is actually there. And Spenza finds out that the Department of Protective Services is where she's going to go to become a pilot, but they are the actual people that maintain the prisons that are keeping Spenza on to Treatise. They are basically the Krell. At the end of chapter 10 and at page 100, basically, a human woman ends up landing where Spenza's at, and this is very interesting because, you know, humans aren't trusted, but a human is on Starsight. So I'm interested to see, number one, who this human is. Is she like someone that's trusted? Does she have power? Or what's going on with that? And number two, like, who is telling the truth here? Are the superiority the good guys and the humans the bad guys? Or is it just all relative, like how people view themselves? And you know, I want to see if like Spenza can actually pretend to be Alanik. And what I think is going to happen is I think that she's going to make friends on Starsight possibly, and get this whole other viewpoint about the world and about humans and about the superiority. But we'll see. So far it's interesting and I'm enjoying it. So I'm excited for tomorrow to read the next 100 pages from 100 to 200. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.